Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, commissioners and staff, and welcome to the Paterson Board of Adjustment meeting of Monday, December 14th, 7:30 p.m. via webinar session virtual meeting. It is a special meeting. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Chairman Thaxton, may I continue?
Go ahead.
The notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting, specifying the time, date, and location included in the annual notice adopted at the reorganization meeting of the board filed with the city clerk of the city of Paterson, posted in the city hall and mailed to at least 2 newspapers. Please mute your mics, please. Posted in city hall and mailed to at least 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law. May I call the roll, Chairman Thaxton?
You.
This application is for today. It's 7:30 p.m. Special meeting, commissioners. Commissioner Dumas, are you present?
Present.
Commissioner Furman, are you present?
Present.
Commissioner Hodges, are you present?
Present.
Good evening. Commissioner Levine, are you present? Commissioner Minaudo, are you present?
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Rohim, are you present?
Yes. Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Watkins, are you present?
Present.
Commissioner Levine, are you present this evening? Commissioner Levine, can you hear me, sir?
He doesn't seem to be logged on.
Okay, I will work on that, so let's continue. Chairman Thaxton, I can always mark him present when I'm done with the agenda. Is that okay, Chairman Thaxton?
Present.
Mr. LaRocca, are you okay with that, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Today, Monday, December 14, 2020 at 7:30 p.m., notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act addressing effective coronavirus measures of the next public meeting. Consistent with the corona-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020 by Governor Philip D. Murphy, the Board of Adjustment of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10-4-8, commencing on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 1-973-321-1579, meeting ID number 711-680-010. If that is incorrect, I will get back online and make sure I make that correction. Board of Adjustment special meeting on Monday, December 14th at 7:30 p.m. On the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link for the meeting, www.patersonnj.gov, Board of Adjustment. On Monday, December 14th, there will be a special meeting of the Paterson Board of Adjustment, which will be held at 7:30 p.m. via webinar session. The following matter will be heard. Number 1, 107 Highland Street, LLC, 107-109 Highland.
Apologies about that. That was a network outage, but we should be back on shortly.
Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Can hear you.
Okay, just testing for 1 second. Testing 1. Testing 2. Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm talking to the IT staff. Mr. Min, can you hear me, sir? Thank you. Okay. All right. I apologize, everyone. I don't know where I left off. Should I read the agenda again? Mr. Morocco, where did you not,
You left off when you were starting to read the application, 107 Highland Street LLC.
Thank you. Thank you very much, court reporter. 107 Highland Street, LLC, 107-109 Highland Street, lot 2917, lot 3. Application to expand, rehabilitate, and convert an existing 2-family dwelling into a 5-family apartment building on an 8,250 square foot lot. The minimum lot size for a 1- and 2-family dwelling is 50 feet by 100 feet in an R2 zone. The applicant proposes to expand and add a level on the existing footprint. The first and second floors will consist of 2 1-bedroom apartments, and the new third floor will consist of 1 1-bedroom apartment. The applicant will provide 5 parking spaces of the 10 parking spaces that are required. This is for use bulk site plan in an R2 zone. Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman Thaxton, you may proceed.
Al Americano on behalf of the applicant.
Chairman Thaxton,
Yes.
you may proceed, sir.
Mr. Americano.
Thank you, sir. Again, Al Americano on behalf of the applicant. I will just clarify 1 or 2 points in terms of the agenda. As per Mr. Paparazzi's report, this is an existing 3-family residence that is being converted to a 5. And the requirement for parking after his analysis was complete is that 9 spaces are required for the 5 1-bedroom units. So, in effect, those are modifications to the original agenda setting. Other than that, we'll be calling Mr. Evans and the applicant this evening with respect to this application where we're seeking site plan use and bulk variances for this site. Mr. Evans will detail the architectural renderings as well as the planning testimony to justify the proposed relief that is being sought. But we are hoping here to upgrade substantially and provide quality 1-bedroom units which are in great demand in all parts of the city. And this is our goal this evening. That being said, I'll call Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans, please raise your hand. You swear upon testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Say your full name for the record.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Thank you. Mr. Evans will be accepted as an expert, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Evans, give us an overview of the existing conditions. I alluded to them in my opening in terms of what is on the site at the present time.
Okay, basically what we have is a 2-sheet submission, S1, SK1, dated 5/8/20. And the first sheet shows the existing condition site plan, proposed site plan and details.
You're going to be posting those?
Yeah, I can post that. And let me post it now.
They'll be coming up now.
So we have the existing site plan, which is a survey showing the existing conditions, 2.5-story frame multifamily dwelling, and then there's basically concrete in the rear yard, taking up a good portion of that rear yard. So there's a
Mr. Evans, Larry Caparossi, this is revised 12/14/2020, right?
12/14/20, yes, you got it, right, I posted that, I'm sorry.
That's the one that includes the basement, description, Gary.
Yeah, sorry, I'll get to that in a minute.
That's the reason that it's dated today, yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, the Highland Street, existing structure, on the site plan and the impervious area, as I mentioned. What we're gonna do is showing the proposed site plan.
If we could just go back to the survey, if you would, that's an existing, three-family structure, just to clarify, is that right? And, that property has no front setback, that building has no front setback whatsoever, right?
It's right on the property.
Right on the property line, and there's actually a rear yard area that's not accessible, very easily.
Right, it's just impervious area that has a sidewalk to the back on each side, but that would be the extent of it.
Okay, so then from there, we're going with, obviously a major, upgrade.
Yeah, so, what we're gonna do is reconstruct that building and add, a third floor to a portion of the building. I'll go to the site plan. What we're doing, which is significant to this, is that according to the site plan, we're removing a section of the building on the left side or the northerly side of the property, and that's going to allow us 12-foot driveway to access the rear yard. We have proposed in that rear yard, we have 5 parking spaces. One of those includes a handicap spot. We have a refuse area, and we have landscaping around the perimeter of that, and along with lighting. That driveway allows us to use that area to park, so it's been a definite improvement on the site, and that's part of the proposal. Go to the architecturals.
We can come back to the variances afterwards, we can go to the architectural, that's fine.
First I'll do the first floor plan. You can see on the left side, we are taking existing building section to be removed. That whole section on the left side of the building is going to be removed, and then we're going to reduce that footprint, and we're putting a 1-bedroom and a 1-bedroom on the first floor. So there's 2 1-bedrooms on the first floor. They have laundry facilities, and there's a main stairwell that accesses the second and third floor. The apartment 101 is 716 square feet, so that is over the minimum requirement of 600. We have about 116 square feet extra space to work with. Then we have the unit 102 on the right side is 642, which meets the minimum requirement. These would be handicap accessible type units. They're on the ground level, so they meet the requirements for handicap accessibility. There's a front porch which would be reconstructed on the front, and there's also access to a basement, a small basement. There's a door, and then we're showing the stairs going down. We have an unfinished basement, which is a low ceiling height, would remain just with mechanicals. It's basically a little cellar area that would not be, it's just utilities only, not occupiable. Then we go to the second floor plan, which is apartment 201 and 202. 201 is 651 square feet, similar to the one below. And then we have 202 is 642 square feet, which is similar to the unit below that. They both have laundry facilities too. Then we have the third floor, which is the left side of the building, would just be a 1-bedroom, 651 square feet. So they all have mechanicals, laundry, bathrooms, kitchen, and ample living space on all those floors. Going to the front elevation, as you can see, we're adding that third unit on the top, and then we have the existing building would be reconstructed with new siding materials, new roof over the porch, and you can see the 3 entrance doors to the apartments. Showing the rear elevation similar, it's more simplistic, but we have all new siding, windows, and roofing. Left side elevation, would be, all new materials, and then the right side, you have, the same condition where we talked about all new materials on those, pieces on the elevation. So, we can go back to the site plan.
Yes.
And then we show the details. Going to the zoning table, we're in the R2 zone, and the property is an existing non-conforming 3-family and an R2. We are proposing to make that a 5-family house, basically 5 units, which would be all 1 bedroom. So there's low intensity units on these, converting this down to 1 bedroom units. The lot area, the minimum required is 5,000. We have 5,000 square feet for the R2, and then for the R3 we need 8,250. We're looking for a variance for lot area on that. Front yard setback, we have that's a pre-existing non-conforming. We're not adding anything to the front yard. That would remain. Side setback, we have 4 and 14. We have 4, and then on the one side, we have 3.8, which is a little shy of 4. We'd be seeking a variance for that. It's pretty much in a pre-existing non-conforming condition. Then we have both of those was 14 feet, and then existing was 8.4, and we'd be removing that previous non-conformity and having, meeting that with both side setbacks at 15.8 feet. So it's 1.8 feet larger than which the minimum requirement. Rear setback is, we have a generous setback from the building when it's existing. And as I mentioned, the parking would be back there. So we have 53.5 feet where 25 is required. The building height, 35 feet and 3 stories. We have 31'3", which is below, and we have 3 stories for a portion of the building.
So we're in full compliance there.
Yes. And then we have, big one is floor area ratio. 1.2 is the maximum floor area ratio. We are 0.7 for the entire structure, so that is well below the maximum permitted. Lot building coverage, 40%. We are at 29%, so we're under the permitted, so we comply. Lot width, 50 feet, and for multifamily, 80 feet. We're seeking a variance for the bulk on the lot width. The refuse area is 1.1 feet off of the side setback, so that would be where 10 feet is required. We're seeking a variance for that. And also parking setback, where 3 feet minimum is required, and we have 1.5 in the rear. And open space, we need 5 times 200, it'd be 1,000 square feet. We have no existing, we have no square footage for that amenity area. The parking, the requirement for 5 one-bedrooms is 5 times 1.8 spaces is 9 spaces required. So for the 5 apartments that we're proposing, we have 5 spaces proposed. We'd be seeking a variance for parking on that.
Okay. With respect to the surrounding area, this is a mixed residential area, different number of units?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different multifamilies in the neighborhood on Highland and in the neighborhood. Across the street, there's a 4-unit, 3 units, and different 1 and 2. But there is historically, there's a lot more than 3 units in the neighborhood.
And this area's been undergoing some upgrades. This would be a continuation, as you can see?
Yes,
in the
this
area?
would all be reconstructed and basically built to do.
Okay. With respect to, Mr. Paparazzi's analysis and, report, I'll leave that to him, with regard to, any modifications that he might be requesting. At this time, from a planning perspective, then, you believe that this use fits the surrounding area, as well as providing a positive benefit?
Yeah, I believe that, the way we've developed the site and we've created parking for the property has been, the biggest benefit, because the applicant was willing to reduce the size of the building in order to get a driveway and have 5 parking spaces in the rear yard, making the site less intensive in the neighborhood and creating parking off-street for the units. Where it was a 3-unit before with 0 parking, now we have 5 with 5 parking spaces. I think that would, that benefit would outweigh any negative detriment on the neighborhood or the site.
And from your experience, there is a growing demand for the smaller one-bedroom units, all throughout the city, and in particular this area?
Yeah, there's no, on Highland Street, there's no real, predominantly more the flats with 2 and 3 bedrooms in the neighborhood. This is more low intensity usage, the 1 bedrooms, and they provide laundry rooms in each dwelling unit, which is an amenity.
Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Evans, at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Gary,
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Evans, did you make a site inspection at the property?
Yes.
Your work is already done.
Well, I went to the site in May when I measured the building and checked the site. We went thoroughly through it and redesigned the building to be in compliance with code and what we were proposing before the board.
I went in November, and the building has been cut back, re-sided, and so let me ask Mr. Maricando, was there a complaint that, on the work being done without the proper COs or the proper permits?
No, I was not aware of any issuance of any violations. I'll have the applicant confirm that under oath. I don't know that either Mr. Evans or I were aware that there have been, we don't know what's been done on the interior, but certainly we would not dispute your indication that some exterior work has been done, but we have no pending violations to the best of my knowledge at this time.
Okay, well, the work has been done, the building has been cut back to 12 feet, it's been sided, and they were continuing to work. The parking wasn't done in the back because they were still working on the inside. But the work is done. Now, that being said, the basement plan that I received today, and this is just, when I went there, it looked like it was a full basement, Mr. Evans. It looked like it ran the length of the building. Now, I don't know where you got this from. Assuming that this is correct, then I'm assuming that the proposed basement is going to have 5 water heaters and 5 furnaces, because you don't show that. And that's what I was looking for. That's, especially since this work was done. And I'm assuming that these apartments are done as well. And I'm sure we'll hear that from the applicant, but,
Well, basically they're just like we spoke about. These are preliminary plans. Full detailed mechanicals aren't submitted or for permits yet, but we show mechanical rooms in each unit. But we have the ability to put hot water heaters in the basement if needed, but basically they'll be all self-metered for each unit. And
So what does your modified plan show with regard to the basement then?
it just shows that there was a question about there being a basement, and we show the basement area. The rest of it, the right-hand side of the building is older, and it's on crawl space or dirt, and it's just a partial basement, which is similar to a lot of these buildings that just have a small utility room in the basement and a, Bilco door or hatch that would access it, but we would have internal access to the basement, and that would just be for, utility and maintenance purposes.
So if this plan had to be expanded to include designation of utility spaces, that could be done if need be?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, when I was there, it looked like the basement went to the building, so you're saying, it did not, because I don't have access to the inside. Now, it looked like it because, there was a window, I thought I had sort of a window in the back as well, but you're saying that the basement is short.
Yeah, it's just a 20 by 20 basement section in the front section, but there are, there's areas where crawl space or other ventilation is required for some of the spaces, but it may appear as a basement, but it wouldn't. The basement's not going to be used for any habitable purposes.
It's not for habitable purposes, Mr. Evans. It's included in floor area ratio, which I'm sure you didn't do because I have a different number without the basement. I didn't have a basement.
Floor area ratio is only for livable spaces, not maintenance purposes.
No, that's not true. You want me to read it there?
Yeah.
I'll read it there.
What section is that?
Hold on. It's under the definition of floor area. Okay? And it says, go into definitions, and it says for floor area in dwellings, any basement space permitted to be used for residential purpose. It's being used for residential purpose. It's eliminated in commercial, not in residential. So, and aside from that, I got 1.14, which is not a variant, but that was without the basement. So I don't know where you got your 1.7 from, your 0.7 from, but,
Nobody's gonna reside in the basement.
It's not gonna be used for residential purposes, Gary, and, as per this description.
it is for residential purposes because they're using the utilities for residential purposes. It doesn't say for living space. It excludes it, it specifically excludes it on the commercial. And it does not on the residential. It says anything that is used for residential is included.
That's
That
correct.
is used for residential, it's included. So, that being said, that's why I wanted to see the basement plan. Now, if you're saying it's only 20 by 20, okay, but I still didn't include that in my floor area ratio, so now.
Okay.
But there's another section, it says, number 3, it says in all buildings, interior balconies, blah, blah, blah. It says, or cellar, basement with a headroom of at least 7 foot 6 inches. That's a very low basement, ceiling that we have in there. So it's really not habitable, that's what I'm saying, but.
I think it's an arguable point, Gary, but we will accept your definition for purposes of
Because
variances.
we're showing 6'4" plus or minus on the basement area.
And it says, in section 3, it says, in all spaces other than the basement. So it doesn't exclude the basement, in my opinion.
Understood.
All right, listen, let's go through the zoning chart because I have different variances than you have.
Okay, sure.
And this was also part of the revision that I had asked for, Mr. Margarita. And in the future, I am not going to supply a report to the secretary until revisions are made, because it seems that when I make a report, I don't get the revisions until the day of, which I should get 10 days prior. And I already went over this once before. Now, that being said, I have a front yard setback of 20 feet and 1 foot proposed. And that's a variance. It's not a pre-existing because you're adding a roof cover torch in the front. Okay? So, when you add that roof covered porch in the front, you're expanding a non-conforming and it becomes a variance.
Excuse me, Mr. Paparazzi, repeat that again, I did not understand, please.
I'm going through the variances. The first variance, besides use. Use is number 1. Number 2 is minimum front setback 20 feet is required, 1 foot is proposed. And that's on the proposed roof covered porch that is on Mr. Evans' plan. That was not on the existing survey. Okay, the third variance is minimum lot width, 80 feet is required, 50 feet is proposed. Parking, we already, you are correct, 9 are required, 5 are proposed. No parking 3 feet to the property line, 1.5 is proposed, you have that. The open space, 1,000 feet is required, 0 is proposed, you have that. The dumpster needs to be 5 feet from the side yard, not 10 feet. 0 is proposed, but it's still a variance.
Okay.
The air conditioning units must be 3 feet from the property line, and they're less than 3 feet from the property line. You don't have a dimension on it, but they're less than 3 feet from the property line because they can't fit. That's a variance. You also need a 24-foot aisle for two-way traffic, for two-way ingress egress, and you're proposing 12 feet. And that's a variance. That's not listed as well. Now, okay, aside from that, we need, the dumpster should be screened in. You should show some fencing around the dumpster. Also, that we need recycling.
If you're not speaking, please mute your mic.
We need recycling. You don't show any recycling, Mr. Evans. We need to see that. You know, they asked for it to be separated, or everything will be thrown into one dumpster, which the city does not want. So you need to show recycling on the plan. You need to show the screening around the dumpster. All right. Now we have the basement plan, but I have some concerns about that. But that being said, your floor area ratio, I have 1.14, and that is without the basement. So I'm assuming it's going to be close to 1.2, but it's not the 0.7 as you indicate. Also, the building coverage, I'm assuming then you also excluded the roof covered porch. I have 32.7, where you have 29. Although it's not a variance, your zoning chart is incorrect. Your dumpster setback is also incorrect on that zoning chart as well. So, and you have to add a few things, which is the 24-foot aisle, and you have to change the 5-foot, the 10-foot from 5 foot to for the dumpster. So, but my biggest concern, and I will now turn it over to the chairman and commissioners. This work is already done. And now that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Like I said, I have some concerns for this application. I don't know if the commissioners have any issues. Thank you.
Any commissioners have questions of the architect?
Yes, this is Jonathan Hodges. How many of the buildings are 3 feet, I'm sorry, 3 stories on that block?
Commissioner Hodges, I have, I went through the block, and most of the buildings are 2-family. There was the one next door that was either 3 or 4 family, but most of it are 2-family. And the height that is there now is pre-existing. So the height was there on the 3-family that was pre-existing. So as far as the height, even though I did not check the height, Mr. Evans has it as 31.3 feet. That is pre-existing. So from what I understood, the height did not change.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, Commissioner Hodges?
No, that's all, thank you.
Any other commissioner?
May I open it to the public?
Yes.
Thank you. To members of the public, if you have questions of the architect with regard to his testimony, please call 973-321-1579. and enter the meeting ID number 711-680-0001. Let's give it a moment to see if anybody calls.
Mr. Rocca, on the public is 711-680-0001. That's 711-680-0001 for the meeting ID number. The phone number is still the same, which is 973-321-1579. Thank you very much.
Do we have any calls?
Chairman Thaxton, commissioners and staff, we have no callers at this time.
Okay, Mr. Maricando, your next witness, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, I'm gonna call yes, I'm gonna call the owner. Again, I'll have him discuss what's been done with respect to the outside and the inside of the building. I will point out that the applicant will stand, the application, I believe most respectfully, should stand on its merits. We know that if an applicant is before the board seeking relief for anything of this nature, site plan and variances of any nature, his application is to be judged on its merits, regardless of whether work had been initiated and what the status of the building is at this time. Again, he can confirm whether there are any violations cited, but we would certainly ask the board to follow the applicable law, which is that the application should not be prejudiced if in fact there is work that has been initiated on the project. Again, that was not something I was aware of, but again, I think that it should not be prejudicial to the applicant in that sense. I'll call Mr. Barkowski at this time.
Yes, I'm here.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Barkowski, you are the principal of 107 Highland Street LLC?
Yes.
Hold on one moment, I don't see him.
I don't see him either.
You gotta turn on your video, sir.
You see me now?
Not yet.
Are you calling from your cell phone?
No, I can see everyone and myself.
I don't see you, sir.
Okay. Can you see me?
His screen has like it's going on and off in the top corner, I never saw it.
Video's on.
Let me check with IT and see if something's wrong on my end, please.
See the little orange triangle square?
Mr. Maricando, he's not connected. He needs to reconnect again, please? Can you
Okay.
talk to your client?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. We're not really doing anything different here. I just think that if anybody in the public would like to see who's talking or who's voting, and if anything, if you're talking, they should see who you are. So that would be like a It's a good thing to do, as this board should do. Thank you. Mr. Gronkowski, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm gonna try to log off and log back on.
Please do so.
Okay.
If you have a problem, please call me, and I will connect you with IT. Thank you. Just to let everyone know, I do not have, my computer does not give me a visual, but I am your host and I am present. Thank you. Mr. Gronkowski, can you hear me, sir?
Right? Oh, yeah, right.
I am here. Can you guys hear me and see me?
Let's just continue. How's that,
Can
Mr.
you guys
Gronkowski?
hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you very clear, yes.
Okay,
No, we can't-
still have video.
We can't continue, Maggie, we gotta get him live, cause he's going under oath. So we
I
should-
understand, but,
there-
oh, he's logged on twice. Hold on a minute, hold on.
yeah, there is no button,
Again?
we gotta get him on.
Mr. Gronkowski, do you have a computer with your, with visual?
Yeah, I can see everybody, I can see myself. I'm gonna try to log on through my cell phone and see if that works.
All right, because we don't see it, so I'm not sure how to do this at the moment, but I have IT right here.
Hey Maggie, I don't know if you saw me, I'm on the meeting, it's Jeff.
Yes, I do hear you. I put you down as a present.
Okay.
Thank you for attending, Commissioner Levine.
Hey Marco.
Yeah,
Excuse me. What?
yes.
Hey, I just wanna make sure I can vote on this, I think I might, because I might be working on something with my property with one of these, from this, Gronkowski. Am I allowed to vote on this, Marco?
Hold on.
I'm following, what, you have a project? I can't hear two people talk.
I said I'm working on something, that we might be leasing some property or something, for personal property, Mr. Gronkowski. So I didn't know if that was
Then you shouldn't,
Excuse me.
application.
Yeah, I'm just gonna recuse myself on the voting at the end.
You shouldn't even participate in the meeting.
Please note, Chairman Thaxton and Commissioners and the public that Commissioner Levine has recused himself from this meeting.
Markham as president and Markham as leaving.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Mr. Gronkowski, your camera's off. We don't, there you are.
You can see me?
Do you see him, Mr. Roca?
I do.
Everybody,
Lopez, our co-reporter, do you see him?
I see him, but I think he has another login now.
Yeah, I'm logged in
Yes,
on
too.
the computer also.
Okay, can you remove
No
it?
one, sir.
Okay, I'm doing
Give me a second, Amalinda. Please, Mr. Gronkowski, don't speak anymore. Just stay there.
Okay, he's good.
Okay, Mr. Bukowski and Mr. Maracamba, you may proceed.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, Chair, Ms. Lopez, our court reporter must swear you in.
I have to swear you in again because we couldn't see you earlier.
Okay, no
Please
problem.
raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your full name again for the record.
Keith Gronkowski.
All right, Keith, you are the principal of 107 Highland Street LLC, is that right?
Correct, I am.
Okay, and as such, you're fully familiar with the site and the application pending before the board?
Yes.
And you've heard all the testimony, and are you in agreement with Mr. Evans' testimony as well as the changes that need to be made?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions by way of background. When did you purchase this property approximately?
I would say about a year ago.
Okay, and at that point, you came to Mr. Evans regarding architectural and site plans?
Yes.
Could you describe the condition of the house when you bought it?
It was very dilapidated. There were a lot of homeless people living inside it and drug users using the property because it was basically abandoned at that point. And that's when I decided to do the rehabilitation and, go for everything with the town on there.
So based upon the serious conditions that were in existence with regard to, homeless residents inside the building, describe the condition of the building in terms of its physical condition.
There was, I believe, a fire in the building. There was water damage everywhere. I sealed the building up in the beginning a couple times. They would break through the windows and the glass to go inside there, and it was just nothing but a nuisance.
Okay, so you had an opportunity to speak to a representative from the Paterson Building Department?
Yeah, they told me don't do anything too crazy to the building because obviously the zoning and everything, I have to go before the board for this. They said just get the outside sealed up good and just wait for the board meeting. And no violations were issued on the building.
And so you did the exterior work that the planner described?
Yes, only the exterior work, no interior work was done to the building.
So you haven't redesigned the interior to present the 5 one-bedroom units that's on this plan, nothing of that nature?
No, just the exterior structure of the building.
Okay, and the building has been safe since that time?
Yeah, it's boarded up, it's got boards in all the windows, we put those big structural steel doors on it for, none of the local people that would want to get in there were breaking in anymore.
So you haven't had any problems since you were advised to move forward in that way, in terms of the city having any problems with the building, no citation?
No issues like that. I've also had a couple of guys that I know in the town, they walk by the building every couple days to make sure no one has tried to trespass or break into there.
Good. And of course you understand that any opportunity or right to develop the building as a 5-unit building and all the interior improvements that are involved in the parking and so forth, all of that would depend on the action of this board tonight.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You understand all the comments that were made by the planner that Mr. Evans has to modify?
Yes.
Okay. You understand you will have to have a dumpster, you will have to have a segregated area for recycling as well?
I understand.
Right. And could you give us your background in terms of experience in this type of work?
In Paterson, I own around 20 rental units throughout the state and Essex County. I own about 50. I've rehabbed numerous amounts of them. I also would like to add that I will be adding security cameras to this building, like I have in my other buildings that will be linked to the police department, so they can surveil everything that way.
Good, so you have experience in rehabbing this type of structure?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and obviously the security is an important element. Do you feel that there will be adequate lighting on the site as well?
Yes.
And that's an element that you've presented in other projects as well?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Great. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, at this time.
Yes.
Mr. Gronkowski, when the building department or the city asks you to secure the building, you actually cut it back 8 or 10 feet and you sided it.
Yes.
Is that not correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, all right. Did you get permits for that? It's a little after putting the cart before the horse, but I'm sorry?
No violations were done for the building as of today.
Did you have a permit to do the siding and cut the, and demolition as the part of the building?
Some things for the building, but all these stuff that I did not have permits were not done to the building.
Okay, so you have a permit to side the building, right?
Yes.
And that, the 10-foot that you demolitioned and reconstructed the wall, you have the permits for that?
Yes.
Okay. Other work was done on the inside because it looked like you were working on the inside.
Just framing to do the inside, get the structure sound, because a lot of the wood was rotted from fire and water damage over the years.
So just safety precautions interior.
Yeah, just safety precautions, there's no electrical, none of that stuff right in there, no insulation in there. It's just basically a shell right now. A secure shell.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, for Mr. Paterson.
Any commissioners have questions of the owner?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. This is our Commissioner External Permit. I have a question for Mr. Bronkowski.
Yes.
May I? Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Ask your question.
Mr. Bronkowski, maintenance-wise, are you planning to do recycle and what is your vision to maintain the building?
Yeah, as far as recycling on the building, if they want recycling as far as recycling cans, they will be added.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other commissioners?
Hello, Mr. Keith.
Hello.
Commissioner Watkins, how are you?
Good, how are you tonight?
Through the chair to the secretary, my question is, are the taxes and sewer bills all paid up?
Yes, they are. They were paid up and proof was given on that, I believe, last week.
Right, we provided that to the board secretary in an update again today.
Thank you.
Can I open it to the public, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. LaRocca, could you open it up to the public, please?
Yes, if members of the public have questions of the applicant with regard to his testimony, please call 973-321-1579 and enter meeting ID number 711-680-001. Let's give it a few moments, see if anybody calls.
Mr. LaRocca?
Yes.
Can you call me on the cell? Give me one moment, Chairman Thaxton, please. Off the record.
Go ahead.
Commissioners, Chairman, and public, we have no callers at this time, including Mr. LaRocca. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Mariconda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That will conclude our direct testimony. I'll just indicate by way of summation that I believe the applicant is proceeding this evening with regard to our expert testimony and the applicant's testimony to provide more than sufficient basis for the granting of a site plan Is there a problem, or should I continue? Or-
Keep going.
Okay, with more than sufficient basis for the site plan, use and bulk variances being sought, we're converting an older, dilapidated, needed in severe need of repair building, that is obviously not providing any positive benefit to the community or the city of Paterson, and in fact, not only had become an eyesore, but a substantial public health and safety problem. Mr. Gronkowski took the bull by the horns, purchased the property, made the necessary protective improvements, and did work indirectly, informally with the building department to make sure that work was done with permits and did not receive any violations by virtue of his testimony under oath. The building has been secure. It's in a state of improved condition right now, and we're looking at a plan based upon our testimony that will give them the opportunity to complete the work and obviously provide quality housing with all the detail that Mr. Evans described in terms of what's contained in each unit. And it's an opportunity to provide parking on a site that had no parking and had 3 substantial units with multiple bedrooms. Now we're down to 1-bedroom units where the parking need is usually less demanding. And we provide 5 quality spaces on site for the area. And as you can see, Highland Street has had some improvements. There are other multifamilies, there are other large buildings on both sides of the street. So this is in keeping with the surrounding area and the improvement of the surrounding area, in our opinion. We ask the board to consider granting the site plan approval as well as the variances that are required to move forward with this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, I did mention all the 9 variances, 1 being used and the other 8 variances. If the board should vote to approve this, it should come with the understanding that Mr. Evans has to include the variances that he has not put on the chart, revise his zoning chart to be accurate, to show the dumpster and the recycling area. I think Mr. Gronkowski would be more advised to show a dumpster for the recycling, because then you would need at least 6 peels, and I think it would take up more room than a recycling dumpster. But either way, Mr. Evans has to show whatever Mr. Gronkowski decides to do. You also have to show if this application is approved, the fencing around the dumpster, because you have the dumpster on the property line. I know there is a fence there on the northerly property line, but you have to at least tie into that fence with to close it, so that the area remains for the garbage and recycling. Now, with that being said, during my site inspection, there was no parking available at this site. But with a 3-family home and 6 bedrooms, the application was short 6 parking spaces. Now the application is only short 4 parking spaces. So the existing condition for parking has improved. Although I always give the parking to the commissioners, an improvement, even though there is a shortage of parking. If there are any other questions I can answer, I would be happy to do so, and that is all I have. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question. The applicant will provide 5 spaces instead of 10. They're short 4?
9 instead of 9.
Okay, thank you.
So how many parking spaces is he short?
He's short, well, only 4, and the prior existing building was short, according to the tax rolls, I guess it was short 6. Actually, it might have been short 7, because there was no parking, and the old tax rolls that said it was a 3-family said that it had 8 bedrooms. Although we don't have any plans, I'm going on those tax rules. So he was either short 6 or 7 spaces, Now he's only short 4. So, although there was no parking, the existing condition for parking has improved.
So he's short 4 parking spaces, correct?
Yes,
What is he providing?
he's providing 5.
Okay. So, can I get a motion for this application, please?
Commissioner Dumas to approve.
Commissioner Furman, second, to approve.
Madam Secretary, could you, read,
Call the roll, absolutely, thank you very much. First motion, Vice Chairman.
Commissioner Dumas, would that motion be, with the provisions that I asked for?
yes, with all the provisions that you spoke of?
Okay, thank you, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Commissioners, first motion is by Vice Chairwoman Dumas, seconded by Commissioner Thurman. I will call the roll. The roll is as follows. Commissioner Thurman, yes or no?
Meg, before you call the roll, you have to, read the,
Oh, you're correct. Okay, I apologize, I didn't realize that. Okay, so this is a motion to approve as for Vice Chairwoman Dumas. She makes a motion that the application of 107, a moment, just had it. 107 Highland Street LLC, concerning the premises at 107 109 Highland Street, block 2917, lot 3. 2, expand, rehabilitate, and convert an existing 2-family dwelling into a 5-family dwelling?
3-family.
Exactly, I just wanted to make sure that you changed that, thank you very much. On an 8,250 square foot lot. The minimum lot size for a 1 and 2 family dwelling is 50 by 100 in an R2 zone. The applicant proposes to expand and add a level on the existing footprint. Would you like to change that as well, or it stays as is?
Sharon?
Does the footprint change?
He changed it already. He changed the foot, he reduced it by 10 feet on the, northerly property line.
Okay, so
Already done, yes.
I understand, but I'm reading this as an approval.
Yes.
So, changing the footprint.
Thank you, by 10 feet. The applicant proposes to expand and add a level, which is right there, and reduced by 10 feet on the footprint. The first and second floors will consist of 2 one-bedroom apartments, or would you like to change that, Mr. Mariconda, or Gary?
The first floor is 2 one-bedrooms, the second floor is 2 one-bedrooms, and the half story is one bedroom.
Thank
We're
you.
calling off 5 one-bedroom apartments.
Thank you. I'd rather you say it instead of myself, thank you. The applicant will provide 5 parking spaces. The requirement is still 10, or is it 9?
9.
Thank you for that correction, Mr. Maricondo. Okay, so this is first and approved and be granted by any amendments or conditions as just spoken by the attorney and our planner, and subject to the review and approval, if applicable, for the following, but not limited to city engineer, Passaic County Planning Board, Passaic County Engineer, HEP Soil Conservation District, and Building Codes of the State of New Jersey. Is there a second? Commissioner Furman?
Commissioner Furman, second.
Thank you.
Can I please make a comment for the record?
Absolutely.
Yes, making sure that we take all the advices made by our planner, Gary Paparosi. Thank you.
Yes, these conditions have been documented and read into the record, so I will continue with the vote. Chairman Thaxton, may I continue?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Furman, how is your vote? Yes? Or no?
Yes for approval.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Levine has recused himself. Commissioner Minaldo? Yes. Thanks. Commissioner Rohit? Mr. Evans, can you mute yourself because you're interfering here, man? I don't.
Yes.
Commissioner Rohit?
Yes.
Commissioner Watkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Dumas, Vice Chairwoman?
Yes.
Thank you, and Chairman Thaxton.
Yes.
This application has been granted, 7 in the affirmative. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much for your consideration.
Chairman Thaxton, I'd like to read the second application. Would you like to close this meeting, Chairman Thaxton?
Yes. Yes, the meeting's adjourned.
I need a first and second motion on the adjournment of this meeting.
So moved.
Commissioner Hodges, is there a second?
I second that, Commissioner McKenna.
Thank you. I will very briefly continue with the second case, or would you like to have a?
Can you give me a few?
I was just gonna ask that, can I give the chair, the court reporter a break for about 5 minutes?
I need to just close this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Are you okay with that, Chairman Thaxton?
5 minutes, yes.
Thank you very much.
No, don't do that. Oh, no, there was an and going and that I'll talk to this. When it comes to spend hours, not an hour, it was tight. And we got maybe they had to do something. That is going to process. And
We'll begin in one moment. Meeting at 8 p.m. via webinar session, virtual meeting. Before we continue, I'd like to say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paterson Board of Adjustment meeting of December 14th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting, specifying the date, time, and location included in the annual notice adopted at the reorganization meeting of the board, filed with the city clerk of the city of Paterson, posted in City Hall and mailed to at least 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law. Chairman Thaxton, may I call the roll, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioners. Commissioner Furman, are you present, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Commissioner Hodges, are you there? Commissioner Levine, are you present, sir? Commissioner Ninaldo, are you present?
I'm present, Chief.
Thank you. Commissioner Roheen?
Yes, present.
Commissioner Watkins, are you present?
Present.
Commissioner Levine, are you present? Commissioner Levine?
He's not on, Maggie, he's on.
I see that, sir, but by law I should ask him. Thank you. Commissioner Levine is absent. Chairman Thaxton, are you present, sir?
Present.
7 commissioners in attendance, 1 is absent. You may continue. So this is how we're going to read the agenda for Monday, December 14th. Notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act addressing effective coronavirus measures on the next public meeting. Consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020 by Governor Philip D. Murphy. The Board of Adjustment of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10-4-8, commencing on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. I am getting feedback, so please mute your microphones. Thank you. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the City Council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for public participation will be available by calling 1-973-321-1579, meeting ID number 711-680-001, Board of Adjustment special meeting on Monday, December 14th at 8 p.m. on the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, which is www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link for the meeting, www.patersonnj.gov/Board of Adjustment. Today on Monday, December 14th, there is a meeting being held for a special meeting of the Paterson Board of Adjustment, which is being held at 8 p.m. via webinar session. The matter will be heard as follows. JCM Investors, 1012 LLC, 159 Putnam Street, Block 2922, Lot 23. This application is to construct a new 3-story, 2-family dwelling on a 2,500 square foot lot. The minimum lot size for a 1 and 2 family dwelling is 50 by 100 feet in an R2 zone. The applicant proposes the first floor will consist of a 1-car garage, 2-car, a tandem garage and storage area. The second floor will consist of a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 full bathrooms, living room, dining room, and kitchen. The third floor will consist of a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 full bathrooms, living room, dining room, and kitchen. There will be a total of 2 apartments. The applicant will provide 2 parking spaces of the 4 parking spaces that are required. This is for bulk and site plan in an R2 zone. Is the applicant present?
Yes, Sam.
Mr. Chairman, we're ready to proceed. Alan Maricondo on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
You may proceed.
You have it's a radio check, Maggie. Maggie.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you. Who am I speaking with?
It's Jeff, Maggie. You have me back in the meeting? I don't know if you had me on the.
Now, I do thank you, Chairman, Commissioner Levine, for attending the meeting. Please, and Melinda, note that, Commissioner Levine has, joined our meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Maricondo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Alan Maricondo on behalf of JCM Investors, 1012 LLC, with regard to 159 Putnam Street. This is an application as indicated in the opening comments for site plan and bulk variance approval only. With respect to Mr. Paparazzi's report, Mr. Evans will address those issues. I will indicate that I did provide the office staff the verification of property and sewer taxes being up to date. And we will proceed basically with regard to architectural and planning testimony, as well as the applicant available for any follow-up as well. This time I'll call Mr. Evans.
You swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your full name for the record.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Mr. Evans, to be accepted, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Evans, could you give us an overview of this site in terms of current conditions and what the applicant proposes?
Okay, the existing site, 159 Putnam Street is a 2,500 square foot lot. It's 25 by 100. It's a vacant lot, and what we're proposing is a standard 2-family, 3-story dwelling, which has been submitted and approved, similar applications.
Mr. Evans, Gary Paparazzi, can you share your
Okay. Sorry.
and also put on the date for the record, please? Thank you.
All right. How do I show? 1 second. Share. Okay, so we have the plan we submitted. We have the date. Give me a second, I'm zooming in on it. 8/27/20. So there's no revisions. It's just proposed 2-family dwelling, and it's a 2-sheet submission with sheet A1 and sheet A2.
Could you start off with present conditions, what we have?
So we have a vacant lot, a 2,500 square foot lot. We're proposing a 18-foot 10 by 65-foot deep house, which is 2-car stack parking, storage area in the rear, and powder room, mechanical, laundry on the ground floor level, and there'll be two 3-bedrooms with 2 full baths on each floor.
The site is presently vacant, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an infill lot that the zoning and master plan calls for hopefully development?
Yes.
Okay, so you can proceed with regard to describing the units, if you would?
Okay, we have, as I mentioned, the ground floor plan, and the second floor plan, which is 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and then we have a modern kitchen, and we have 2 entrances, independent of each other. When you enter the front porch, you have entrance to the left, which enters the second floor, and the next entrance on the right enters a stair that brings you up to the 3rd floor, which is the same layout as the second floor, with the exception of the stair opens up and creates a more open second floor with a railing at the stairwell. Going to sheet A2, we show the elevations, and now we have the elevations are a little different than some of the other ones. We have a more modern style, as you can see from the front elevation. So it's more contemporary. We have a mix of materials. We have large casement windows, transoms, and cornice moldings, as you can see in the modern garage door. That's something the applicant was interested in doing, and we've done it on several houses similar to this throughout the city of Paterson. We have usually this or a traditional house, but this is still has a nice curb appeal to it. It's 9 feet floor, so we have high ceilings on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Both units comply with square footage requirements?
Yes.
Okay. And again, the ground level space behind the garages is limited strictly to access from the 2nd level unit, 1st unit, is that
Yeah,
right?
the 1st unit gets the basement and the storage area.
Right, and there's no full bath down there at all, just a powder room?
No, it's just a powder room.
Okay. With regard to the surrounding area, and you can relate that to your variance chart if you wish, as far as requirements, how does this compare in terms of lot size? Are there comparable lot sizes in the R2 area around this?
Yeah, there's the older lots, there's a lot of older lots and older houses on 25 by 100 lots. The only difference with those predominantly is that, you know, they were done in, many years ago, and they don't have garages, so they are limited to on-street parking. But this has 2 off-street parking spaces, and it has the ability for them to park on the property.
Okay, with regard to variances created by this application, there's only a few, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, could you just touch upon them?
The front yard setback is, minimum is 20, we're proposing 10. The property would be similar in context with some of the other buildings. Some of them have 0 lot line conditions, and they're right on the property line, but we would be seeking a variance for that, being that we didn't measure the averages on the block. The side setback for both is 11 feet, and we have 6.2 proposed. The maximum lot coverage is 40, and we're at 50, so we're over by 10%. The maximum, the parking requirement is 4, and we have, as I mentioned, 2 spaces in the garage proposed.
And as you indicated, this is not an unusual lot size. There's a mix of lot sizes and number of units in the surrounding area?
Yes.
Okay. That'll conclude your testimony, Mr. Evans?
Yeah, so it's a positive development for the area. It allows the property to be developed, and it's consistent with a lot of the 2 families that are being developed and built in the city of
And
Paterson.
I indicated in my opening that this is one of the goals of the master plan and zoning ordinance in terms of these type of lots.
Yes,
Obviously, there are negatives associated with vacant lots in residential areas,
yes, it's not being used and it's really underdeveloped.
and it can become an eyesore or a serious problem for the neighborhood of vacant lot.
Yes.
Okay. So again, Mr. Chairman, that will conclude Mr. Evans' testimony.
Gary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Evans, I know you put the super on your plan, A1, but isn't Graham Avenue Rosa Parks Boulevard, am I wrong, or it is, right?
I think it is, there might be a section that might not be, but I consider it all Rosa Parks, I mean,
I couldn't find Graham anymore on the,
It is considered Rosa Parks Boulevard.
Okay, Mr. Paparazzi, Graham Ave was the old name before it became Rosa Park. And as some of the tax maps, as you'll see on Mr. Evans' site plan, still use the old reference to Graham Ave, but it's one and the same, yes.
All right, so, I'm not gonna ask for the survey to be, revised because he's not here, but if Mr. Marshall, can you just, show Rosa Parks here? If you wanna leave Graham as formerly Graham, that's fine. If not, just take it off and put Rosa Parks Boulevard, that would be fine.
That's perfectly fine, yes.
Just on the zoning chart, Mr. Evans, you have the side setback, 4 feet, it should be 3 feet, you know that, because of the 25-foot lot. And, both should be 11. And the lot width, you said the required minimum is 25, that should be 50. Just make those changes on the zoning, your zoning chart, okay? And we're good. Again, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, we've had several of these, applications in the last month. You do have an existing lot, the lot is not being created. Quite frankly, this is the minimum that you could really put up. The maximum amount of parking that you can fit on the site when you have a construction is only the 2 spaces. So, and as Mr. Maricondo alluded to, it's in performance with the master plan to develop these, infill lots that are vacant. I have no other questions. I just, for Mr. Evans, just a few revisions for Mr. Evans when if the plan is approved, okay? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any commissioners have questions of the architect? Then, Mr. Uraka, can you open it up to the public, please?
Yes. To the members of the public, if you have questions of the architect with regard to his testimony, please call 973-321-1579 and enter the meeting ID number 711-680-001. Let's give it a few moments to see if anybody calls.
Commissioners, General Thaxton, Chairman Thaxton, and staff, we have no callers at this time.
Mr. Maricondo, your next witness, please.
Yes, you call Mr. Anderson Reed. He's up already with the hand. Mr. Reed?
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Hello?
Melinda, we can't.
Sorry. Just swear to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Say your full name for the record.
Andy Reed, REID, Director of Development for Jason Investors.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
We have an
Congratulations.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maggie, should we proceed? It's echoing.
Linda, you can hear me?
Hear you, but it's echoing.
We're here.
Somebody has that. Chad, do you have a phone? Huh? Are you logged in? Twice? No. Mute for 1 second. Alright. It's clearly coming from Andy because once he muted, it's not happening.
I'm checking in on it, give me 1 second.
Yeah, because Andy had trouble logging in.
Maybe he logged in twice.
I think it's coming from that Evans.
Not me.
You're having an echo.
Listen, Andy, mute for a second. Okay, now it stops. Matt, mute for a second.
Yeah.
Andy, unmute. Okay.
1 second.
Okay, it's Andy. Andy, you actually probably just log it out, completely out.
Can you let me figure it out for a second?
Sure. And they tell you the same thing.
Still an echo?
Testing. I have an echo. 1 moment.
Because
Okay, I think we're at the same time. Andy Reid, do me a favor, log off and get back on for me, please. Please, thank you.
I'm gonna start moonlighting as IT.
I know it may be funny, but it's very difficult on my end when everybody is trying to help me. But I got the other two behind me saying I'm doing something wrong, which is funny. I apologize for the interruption. There it is. I don't hear it. You're good now. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. Mr. Reid, you stated your position with JCM Investors. You heard the testimony, Mr. Evans, on behalf of your office?
Yes.
And you're in full agreement with that testimony?
Yes.
And the design of the house will be as described by Mr. Evans, and you will provide your standard lighting and security for all, as you do in all your buildings?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, Gary.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reed, quickly. On the lower floor with the garage, you're going to keep the powder room just a powder room, right? I need you to state that on the record.
Yes, that goes with the first floor tenant anyway. Yes.
Well, I know, but if there is a full bathroom and in a room in the back, you have utilities down there, it can become an apartment. So that's why I'm asking you to put it on the record.
Yes, you're correct, Mr. Planner.
Okay, and the area back there will remain unfinished.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have for Mr. Reed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And let's see if that questions. Then Mr. LaRocca, can you open it up to the public, please?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Members of the public, if you have questions of the applicant, please call 973-321-1579 and enter meeting ID number 711-680-001. Let's give it a few moments.
there any calls?
Chairman Thaxton, we have no callers at this time.
Okay. Mr. Maricondo?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to submit on the testimony and the site plans which are presented to the board. This is an opportunity to create a new housing for 2 units, hopefully for home ownership or rental, but it takes care of the infill problem that is a very important issue in the city of Paterson. Thank you.
Gary?
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. This is very similar to several that we've had in the last month or so. If the application should be approved, there were just a few minor changes to the zoning chart for Mr. Evans, and Graham Lane should be designated as Rosa Parks Boulevard, which it actually is. And along those lines, again, you really can't do much less than what the applicant is proposing. And I sort of like the modern look that Mr. Reed is proposing. It's a little bit different than the ones we had as far as aesthetics. And it looks a little bit more modern, and it should be nice for the neighborhood. I have no issues with it, and if there are any issues, I would gladly answer any questions that was had. Thank you.
At this time, can I have a motion, please?
Commissioner Furman, for approval.
What commissioner was that?
Commissioner Furman, motion to approve?
I second it.
Not yet, sir. Can I just call in the motion for his approval? Commissioner Furman makes a motion that the application of hold on, I will proceed in 1 second, I'm sorry. JCM Investors, 1012 LLC, 159 Putnam Street, lot 2922. Lot 23 is to construct a new 3-story 2-family dwelling on a 2,500 square foot lot. The minimum lot size for a 1 and 2 family is 50 feet by 100 feet foot lot in an R2 zone. The applicant proposes the first floor and will consist of a 1-car, 2-car, tandem garage and storage area. The second floor will consist of a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 full bathrooms, living room, dining room, and kitchen. The third floor will consist of a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 full bathrooms, living room, dining room, and kitchen. There will be a total of 2 apartments. The applicant will provide 2 parking spaces of the 4 parking spaces that are required. This is for bulk and site plan in an R2 zone. He so moves. Is there a second? Thank you. May I proceed with the vote, Chairman?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Furman, how do you vote, sir? Yes or no?
Yes, for approval.
Thank you. Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Levine? Commissioner Levine?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Commissioner Rinaldo? Yes. Commissioner Rohim?
Yes.
Commissioner Watkins?
Sure, I can vote on this one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're correct. You cannot vote. My apologies. I apologize for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Commissioner Vice Chairwoman Dumas, please.
Yes.
And Chairman Thaxton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This application has been granted. The vote is 7 in the affirmative. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for consideration.
We have no further business unless Mr. Ramaka has anything to add, but our next meeting will be Thursday. Am I correct? Hello? December 17th, the Board of Adjustment will be meeting, and again on December 28th. I have no further business.
Night all.
I need a first motion to close the meeting and a second, please.
Adjourn.
Chairman Thaxton, we need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Hodges. Commissioner Minoto, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining the Board of Adjustment. Thank you.